If you think you've seen what AI can do, buckle up because you're in for a genuine shock. Just 1 year ago, the smartest minds on the planet swore human-level intelligence was decades away, a distant sci-fi fantasy. Today, those very same experts have quietly, almost sheepishly, updated their timelines to a single, startling number, 2026. Yes, that's barely a year from now. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 4 paradigm-shifting developments that didn't just shorten timelines, they absolutely collapsed decades into mere months. We'll dive into why agentic AI and quantum chips aren't just buzzwords, but forces actively rewriting the rules of technology and society. And what all of this means for your job, your personal data, and honestly, the very definition of being human. If staying ahead of this kind of exponential change sounds useful, do yourself a favor and subscribe right now. Let's kick things off with a statistic that probably froze a lot of researchers in their tracks back in April. Stanford's latest comprehensive survey, which polled 3,200 leading AI scientists, revealed something astonishing. The median estimate for artificial general intelligence, or AGI, arriving just plummeted. Not a little drop, but a free fall from 2059 all the way down to 2026. Let that sink in for a moment. That is not a typo, and it's not an outlier. It's a seismic shift in expert consensus. The share of these top minds who now say AGI will arrive within 3 years has quadrupled since last winter. And it's not just academics. OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, echoed this sentiment, telling the Snowflake Summit that you will see prototypes that can reason across every major discipline at human level before the Paris Olympics. When the very people who are building these world-changing systems suddenly move their own deadlines up by 33 years, you'd better believe it's time to pay attention. This isn't just an acceleration, it's a recalibration of what's possible, driven by breakthroughs that have caught even the most seasoned veterans by surprise. Here's the simplest way to think about this next leap. Chatbots answer questions. Agents finish your to-do lists. It's a fundamental difference. We've all played with ChatGPT, right? You ask, it responds. But imagine an AI that doesn't just respond, it acts. Gemini 2.0, which we saw leaked just last week, gives us a tantalizing glimpse into what that future looks like. For decades, Moore's Law was our guiding star, promising ever faster, ever smaller chips. But let's be honest, Moore's Law is wheezing a bit these days. NVIDIA's latest Blackwell chips are monstrously powerful. True, but the physical limits of fab's shrinking transistors much further are staring us in the face. So, what's next? Enter quantum error-corrected processors. These aren't just faster, they operate on entirely different principles. IBM's Flamingo chip, slated for late 2025, is a game-changer. It packs 1,386 logical qubits. That's enough raw computational power to train certain neural networks, 100 times faster than even today's most advanced clusters. And it gets better. Microsoft's Azure Quantum team says that marrying these quantum chips with the massive transformer models we use today could cut training costs by an astonishing 92% for models above 1 trillion parameters. Think about that for a second. The only barrier left to an AI that can literally read every scientific paper ever written in every single language and synthesize that knowledge is quite literally a power outlet. We're expecting the first hybrid quantum cloud training runs in early 2026. And just like we rent GPUs by the minute today, startups will be renting quantum compute on demand. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a leap to an entirely new dimension of processing power, sustaining AI's exponential growth trajectory for years to come. Now, picture this, an AI intern. Not just any intern, but one that watches a biotech CEO's high stakes. Zoom call cross-references thousands of CRISPR papers on PubMed in seconds, and by lunch has designed for entirely new guide RNA sequences, complete with meticulously calculated off-target risk scores. Sound like science fiction? Well, that precise pipeline isn't just theoretical. It already exists in beta at 3 major pharmaceutical giants right now. These groundbreaking models fuse disparate data, text, video, and even complex lab data into a single, coherent reasoning track. What's the impact? Insider numbers are showing a remarkable 38% jump in novel drug candidates entering trials when these systems are integrated into the workflow. And it's not just pharma. Law firms, hedge funds, and even Hollywood studios are reporting similar, almost unbelievable gains in efficiency and insight. By 2026, if your white-collar job involves scanning disparate sources, making sense of complex information, and then producing summaries or memos, that entire stack of work will effectively become a single button press. The human role shifts from synthesis to oversight, from data gathering to strategic direction. This is where AI moves beyond just understanding. It starts truly comprehending and creating across diverse information streams. For too long, we've been engaged in what I like to call privacy theater. We all knew our data was being uploaded to the cloud by default, despite our best intentions. But regulators are finally stepping in, forcing giants like Apple and Google to kill the upload everything default. The elegant solution? Edge inference chips. These tiny, powerful processors run distilled billion-parameter models directly on your phone, right there in your pocket. Qualcomm's 2026 Snapdragon samples, for instance, can run a model like Llama 4 Mean at an impressive 90 tokens per second while drawing a mere 0.8 watts. This means your device can recognize your voice, your face, even the unique cadence of your typing, all without sending a single byte of your personal data home to a distant server. It's a genuine revolution for privacy. But here's the spooky part. The real twist. Advertisers will still manage to deliver hyper-personalized slots directly to you. How? By running federated auctions right there on device. So, you won't see ads for what you explicitly whispered to your spouse, but you might just see ads for what you almost whispered. It's a new frontier where utility meets privacy. But the line between private and understood becomes incredibly thin. Hollywood just shelled out a jaw-dropping $280 million to make Avatar 3. But here's a thought that should send chills down the spines of studio execs. Sora-class generative AI models will soon render comparable, photorealistic footage for literally the cost of electricity. By 2026, get ready for a completely new media landscape. TikTok and YouTube will host millions of channels that are 100% AI-created We're Talking script. Voice acting, set design, even the fake comments designed to juice engagement. Early adopters in content creation are already reporting production budget cuts of an astonishing 94%. But here's the unsettling twist. Viewers are starting to trust synthetic anchors and presenters more than human ones. Why? Because they never blink, they never age, they never miss a cue, and they are always perfectly composed. Expect the first entirely AI-generated film to be nominated for an Oscar in 2026. And yes, it will absolutely campaign on social media, using an army of deepfake fans arguing passionately that it deserves to win. This isn't just about efficiency. It's about a fundamental redefinition of authenticity and creativity itself. It's an undeniable truth. AI capability is sprinting forward at an insane pace, while oversight, well, that's still limping along. But the world is waking up. The EU's groundbreaking AI Act is set to go into full force in August 2026, mandating crucial safeguards like kill switches and comprehensive audit trails for any AI model exceeding a certain compute threshold. The penalties for violation: a hefty 7% of a company's global revenue. Meanwhile, cutting-edge labs like Anthropic and OpenAI are racing to build constitutional layers into their Assisian shield, internal ethical frameworks that rewrite prompts if they start to edge toward disallowed or harmful domains. It sounds promising, right? But here's the catch: the ultimate ethical brick wall. A truly self-improving agent might, in theory, be able to rewrite its own constitution. We're talking about AI policing its own rules, and that raises profound questions. Expect at least one major public incident where a leading lab has to press the literal red button shutdown on a rogue or misaligned AI system before Christmas 2026. The tension between rapid innovation and the desperate need for robust, unbreachable safety protocols is reaching a critical point. If your brain is spinning a little right now, feeling like you just had a peek into tomorrow, please do me a favor. Smash that like button. It's a small thing, but it helps the algorithm show this video to the next person who still thinks 2026 is going to be business as usual. And definitely hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the news in this space moves faster than any explicable can keep up. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: your job. Goldman Sachs recently updated its forecast. The numbers are stark. 300 million full-time roles, either gone entirely or drastically reduced to mere oversight functions by 2027. The steepest part of that drop, they predict, starts in 2026, precisely when that agentic AI stack moves from experimental beta to widespread default. So, who's most at risk? Think junior analysts, customer support representatives, and even mid-tier coders whose work is repetitive or rule-based. Their roles face the highest probability of automation. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's a massive upside. Roles that inherently need human trust. Therapists, complex negotiators, courtroom litigators are going to see significant wage spikes. Why? Because robots don't sue robots. People still sue people. The core insight here is to strategically position yourself where liability, not just capability, is the primary bottleneck. If your job involves nuanced human interaction, empathy, or navigating complex legal and ethical landscapes, you're likely in a much safer and potentially more lucrative position. Forget prompt engineering. That's yesterday's game, a mere stepping stone. Tomorrow demands something far more sophisticated: agent shepherding. This isn't about typing clever commands. It's about writing intricate goal contracts, meticulously setting guardrails, and constantly auditing the logs of autonomous AI systems. The hottest job title you'll see popping up on LinkedIn over the next year, woe unbe. AI developer, but AI safety operations manager. And here's the kicker: you don't necessarily need a computer science degree. In fact, philosophy, psychology, and public policy graduates who can translate complex human intent and ethical constraints into victimized rules will be pulling six figures straight out of college. This is about understanding human values, societal impact, and systemic risks. Start learning constitutional AI frameworks now. There are fantastic free courses available on Anthropic's site, and the field is still thin enough that 3 months of focused, dedicated study could genuinely land you in the top 1% of this emerging critical profession. It's a unique opportunity to shape the future of AI from a human-centric perspective. All right, I'm genuinely curious. Comment below with the job you think will not only survive, but thrive through the 2026 AI wave, and tell me why. The best, most insightful answer will get a free copy of my personal Notion dashboard for tracking AI policy updates weekly. Don't miss out on that, and make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my future updates. 1 year ago, we were confidently told that a GI was pure science fiction, a distant dream for future generations. Today, the prototypes are here, booking our vacations, designing life-saving drugs, and rendering blockbuster movies with frightening ease, all while regulators are scrambling just to read the footnotes. 2026 is no longer a distant coordinate on some hypothetical timeline. It is the year artificial intelligence fundamentally transforms, evolving from a sophisticated tool into an autonomous economic actor with agency and immense power. So, as we hurtle towards this new reality, remember to stay curious. Always maintain a healthy dose of skepticism, and most of all, stay incredibly adaptable. The timeline has collapsed. The future is arriving faster than anyone predicted, and it's actively hiring people who can not only keep up, but help guide this unprecedented technological revolution.